Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Check me out.
DJ Secret Blaze is in the mix.
Two. Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace.
Check.
Sometimes you got too much involved.
Welcome to the party.
Problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace.
I am Super Blaze. This is the campaign mix.
Peace.
Let's go.
Check me out. To free my mind, I leave my house and hit the intercoastal. Sitting right in my backyard, this shit is really local. It's like my problems run away when I...
Man, y'all didn't get to see the party die.
The tank is sitting still.
You watched the party die.
Water, jump off the cliff of life. Release my parachute.
Early, man. You know what
things are right.
Campaign mix.
That's what I tell myself until it hit the night. The spirit
8 o'clock.
Knives with my blood, I'm taking...
Nice and early, you know what I mean?
Consume. The devil said he moving in, but I ain't got no room. He wanna break me down and tell me up what I assume. But I just keep on grinding up to my top chakra. Feeling like a Buddhist on a mountain sitting
Shout to Big Free Money, what up?
Traveling God, moving through the cosmos, space and time. But all I really know, I'm at my zenith. Familiar with my inner peace because I seen it. I seen it. Since
one more time from the top. Mike Ether. Yeah. Through the campaign. You know what it is, man. Let's get it. Inner Peace. It's on YouTube. It's on iTunes. It's on SoundCloud. Get at it real quick. Let's go.
Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Check me out. To free my mind, I leave my house and hit the intercoastal. Sitting right in my backyard, this shit is really local. It's like my problems run away when I sit by the water. Meditating, sitting still, I become the water. Jump off the cliff of life, release my parachute. The problems, everything's alright. At least that's what I tell myself until it hit the night. The spirit synchronized with my blood, I'm taking flight. My mind consumed. The devil said he moving in, but I ain't got no room. He wanna break me down and tell me up what I assume. But I just keep on grinding up to my top chakra. Feeling like a Buddhist on a mountain sitting proper. Traveling God, moving through the cosmos, space and time. But all I really know, I'm at my zenith. Familiar with my inner peace because I seen it. Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. What? Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Everything is authentic. High beams, wrist gleam coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you could do is witness. High beams coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you can do is witness.
Black drop back, my stacks is on greatness. High level shit off top, you can't make this. Fuck the beat off guard, now that's rapist. Top laid back, the beans, now that's weightless. Excuse me, y'all, I might break this. Ain't a perfect bitch and y'all boys gon' need faceless. Fall back a few, they feed for thy greatness. Better cut before you take this. Cashmere playing golf with my 9-9. King fall off, they know that I buy mine. Fucking with an OG in the fine lines. White in the mirror on an all-time high. Shining since I came out the pussy, I blind guys. Even with my team, you cannot define eyes. Squares out of circle, boy, I divide pies. Truth so big, cannot deny lies, huh?
High beams, risking coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you could do is witness. High beams coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, yeah, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you could do is witness. You know, everything is vintage. Everything is classic. Cause ain't nothing new under the sun. That means it's been done before. But not like this though. Yeah, the guy flows giving with such precision. Flow like a made back, that's what keep me driven. Roof partition, scribing to the cosmo, omnipotent vision. I'm everywhere, tell me what I'm really missing. Traveling man, jumping past fifth dimension. P now, too wide open to see religion. Resident,
Peace.
too loud for me to listen.
Welcome to the party.
Listening Merc Kush jumping out the gym like Blake Griffin. Have your mind somewhere in the ethers missing.
Welcome, Ricardo, welcome.
Proceed to listen.
Shout out to Homeworld the News, what up?
Words are living. See my tongue way stronger.
We just vibing right now.
Cause the big
Mike Ethan.
like the birth of earth was given. I get missing through the instruments and melody.
Little vintage vibe, you know what I mean?
Music I compose sound therapy.
Let's go.
I think I'm Nick Tesla.
Who?
Bob Marley, master of ceremony, nigga. I'm God body. Cracking up a bottle open and I'm calling Barry. Osiris Green, Mosra Beads got them knocks staring. I think I'm Jeff Ford. Noah Drew. Painting pictures with these words, man, it's what I do. Shouts out the Thriller campaign, nigga, what it do? Keeping everything kosher, no Jew.
Run that back one more time from the top. Vintage.
You know, everything is vintage.
Mike Ethan. Check it
Everything
out
is
on
classic.
iTunes. You know what it is.
Cause ain't nothing new under the sun. That means it's been done before.
Thriller campaign, Super Blaze
But not
campaign
like this,
mates,
though.
man. Let's do this real quick.
Yeah, the guy flows giving with such precision. Flow like a made back, that's what keep me driven. Roof partition, scribing to the cosmo, omnipotent vision.
Shout out to the guy Green.
Everyone, tell me what I'm really
Shout out to
missing.
Mac, what up?
Traveling man, jumping past fifth dimension.
Shout out to Mac, what up, bro?
I'm too wide open to see religion. Resonating way too loud.
We inside the lounge, gives me the lounge. You know what it is, man.
Merc Kush jumping out the gym like Blake Griffin. Have your mind somewhere in the ethers missing. I cook food for thought and they proceed to listen. Cause my flow's nourishment and my words are living. See my tongue way stronger than that gun you gripping. Cause a big bang like the birth of earth was given. I get missing through the instruments and melody. I don't make music, I compose sound therapy. I think I'm Nick Tesla, Bob Marley, master of ceremony, nigga, I'm God body. Cracking up a bottle open and I'm calling Barry. Osiris Green, Mosra Beads got them knocks staring. I think I'm Jeff Ford. Noah Drew, painting pictures with these words, man, it's what I do. Shouts out the Thriller campaign, nigga, what it do? Keeping everything kosher, no Jew. How I ride on the day that Noah would die. I'm a rule back, we supposed to ride. How I ride on the day that Malcolm died. By any means, I'm living my life. Hey, since an adolescent, been getting it right. Could the people who were pressing they caring for life. Had to make my own way from nickel and dime. Till a nigga graduated and got me a pine. Where I'm from, man, them boys ain't playing around. Hopping out, ski mask, they laying you down. Just because you match your description. Even though we all know it's fiction. All they really wanna do is convict them. Forge his name or make up a victim. When it's feeling like the world is against them. It's all good, nigga, galaxies with them. It's all good, could a galaxy with them. It's all good, nigga, my yacht with them. Hey. Shouts out to my ancestors. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze.
Thriller campaign.
DJ
The
Super
real
Blaze
is. Live life always.
is in the mix.
Y'all know, my folks so serious.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, how I ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They too left to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man's zone. And I ain't talking shit, this my definition. If being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the God to the gate. So when they say they fear God, now you know what they made.
Shoot song, move song, shoot song, move song. Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down. Shoot song, move song, shoot song, move song. Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
Every day my niggas dying, they don't know the truth. How the hell you close to God, we don't know it's you. Yo, how the hell you supposed to survive, we don't know the shoot. He should've died, you let him slide, cause he look just like you. I tried to tell him all skin ain't kin. Everybody ain't your partner, everybody ain't your friend. How the hell they supposed to help when they the ones that put you in? They don't struggle how we struggle, they can't get it how we live. Can't be scared to die when we already dead. Either way, your life is stake no matter how you play it. My higher self said we should choose remain godly. My lower want these motherfucking bodies. They protect their circles like a motherfucking island. Take them to the south and put them down like OG Wiley. They don't want equality in this club, they want these problems. Killers right beside you, slam full of chicken models.
Shoot song, move song, shoot song, move song. Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down. Shoot song, move song, shoot song, move song. Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
DJ Super Blaze. That's in the mix.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Bang, bang, bang.
Let's drop his Drake cards real quick. We still here. We still here. Thomas Paul. Let's go.
Who they think they better than? Ain't no comparison to the so-called black or African American. You can drop the African, keep the American. When we say Aborigine, it make they world in. I'm going in the same dirt my ancestors buried in. I come from a god and a goddess, so what that make me? Not even Basquiat can trace me. Not even Van Gogh can paint me. The MC in me is the God MC. Equals the God in me. I'm focused in, let my mind be free. You too blind to see. The Jews I give is real. It's been real. These ain't shots, they missiles. All you gonna hear is the whistle. Lyrically, this the execution. My verse start revolutions. For my people seeking restitution. Since the beginning, fuck evolution. Or maybe my reality is all a dream. I put it together like I was so it seems. So it seems. Audio. Me, go against the machine. We put you where nobody can hear you scream and sing you to meet your Elohim. My nigga, this is savage mode. It's something that you can't go. It started with a spark and I'ma let it explode. I was given the cheat codes that'll let me dump and reload and go through them waves like a fucking torpedo. You dealt the cards of life. I just cut them diamonds with the ace of spades. Y'all scatter like roaches when they facing raid, or vampires when they facing blade. I'm trying to get next to Shireen like I'm getting played. You still stuck as a mental slave. You still stuck in that mental cage while I'm making easy money, pipping holes in style. This my coming to age. Crowd roaring when I'm coming on stage, and when I'm done, they gonna be cheering my name. Drake times, and nah, I ain't quit my day job. I spit bars. I really rap on my day off. That's real shit. Just give you some tools you can build with. Aim high even if you still miss. Just keep going. It's a climb to the top, and I'ma keep flowing down Lake Shore. I'm Chicagoan. Yeah.
The moment you realize it's people that you love that you're gonna have to leave behind. I was told, wow, look, we at war. Everybody can't go though. Some of us vibing high. Everybody can't go though. Some of y'all might leave family behind. Everybody can't go though. Could've completed, but you get deleted. Some people are feeded, so you feel deleted. And knowledge is medicine, know when you need it. If everyone go, I'ma know that you cheated. You think I'm conceited, I'm feeling completed. Life is a game and I'm planning to beat it. Life is a game and I'm planning to beat it. Look. Everybody can't go though, beat it. You was ascending and starting to win. No pretending, actually win. Low vibrations, boxing you in. Who keep letting them toxins in? All my people are toxin us. Everyone on our toxin land. Ancient like cosmology. I am the source, I go within. I can't go unless I go to win. Really a God supposed to win. Anyone that's trying to get with me, just start doing the most you in. Trying to turn up, it goes to 10. Blood type O, you almost in. Then knocking, we all go in. G, I'm a rule, we all go in. Ready to water, but can't make you drink. No, I'm not here to just make you think. If anything, I'm here to just make you fight. It's all lost, just make it right. Everybody ain't with it. Let me tell you, I don't like breathing. Freedom ain't free, you broke, I get it. Let me tell you, don't like breathing. Can't even wake you up, you sleeping. Niggas are sleeping, scalping season. Some of y'all sleep through all the trees and government beefing. Now you vegan, need autonomy, really don't need them. Now we rock this house is freedom. Really gonna hurt my heart to leave. I'm really gonna hurt my heart to leave. This is simulation or a cycle. They be hating on you for survival. That's why I don't mess with the Bible. Ain't nobody tribal going viral. We original, we hold the title. Lot of work to do, how you idle. Ain't no false idols in they Bible. We ancient for ancient in Ohio. Say what you want and do what you do, but I'm starting to get, I don't know about you. Gotta go with you, can't go on YouTube. If you think you know, you ain't got no clue. Say what you want and do what you do, but I'm starting to get it, I don't know if you do. Gotta go with you, can't go on YouTube. If you thinking you know, you ain't got no clue. War, we at war. Everybody can't go though. Some of us vibing high. Everybody can't go though. Some of y'all might leave family behind. Everybody can't go though. Could have completed, but you get deleted. Some people are defeated.
Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. We
Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze.
DJ Super Blaze. That's in the mix.
Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came.
We been here, lived here, open borders, got deported, fought for rights. Kidnapped, bitch slapped, blacked out, covered up, washed white. Drugged up, slugged up, beat bread, left for dead, fuck your life. It's all a plan, kill your man, take your land, slave your kids, rape your wife. Why y'all look so mad if all this shit I say is true? Why y'all look so mad if all this shit happened to you? White man quick to tell you, you was a slave, nothing before. But he himself only been free since 1840. Young recording, I'm an ancient Egyptian from Atlantis, headed straight for Canada, that's Israel. Nothing fake about me, no capping rapping, y'all just fed the ink and I'm digital. No caveman, I'm original. Kentucky fried, extra crispy, wear a lot of gold cause my family history. I'm the guy to know, I bring death to history.
Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we...
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way there. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the... Because they only telling they part of the story.
What?
They're telling lies like they on more. Them poor rich kids get their money on phone it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we no forex. We growing up, yeah. Fill them ass.
That's how you feeling tonight, Blaze?
Hit for the cash before the whole market crash. Flat, fast from the past. We doing the smash now. Be prepared to hit the gas. Yeah.
Come on.
Wealth changing name up. In your hands, put your game up. Elevation, rise. We the vibe. Good line, yeah, we travel.
Vibe.
Good line, yeah, we travel. Woo.
Yeah.
Just for time. Woo. Good line, yeah, we travel. Hit them with the high.
Yeah.
Every door I got from Virginia. And no way more, because I'm lad. And no way more, I pass that tag. We got to see with the true eye.
What do you say?
We need some brand new right ideas. We got the heart, so great mind, yeah. I'll just be sincere. You're the land, get the wealth, change your name.
That's the remix right there, y'all.
In your hands, with your game up. Elevation, alright. Be the vibe, blood line, and we tribal.
All my Maroons outside, what they do? That's the Lucy. Yay.
Okay. Turn up. Hey. I know you bringing me nice though. I'm just funky coming in. Yeah, I'm ready to turn up. You got me ready to let you rip off another one.
Thanks for having me, man. You know what it is, man. It's always fun. You know what I mean? Shout to the chat. You know what it is.
Hey.
Shout to all the news. You know what I mean? Shout to Sherry. What up? What up? What up? Sap. What up? Big OJ. What up? What up? You know what it is, man. Super Play Trail. What up, my bro? Long time no see, man. You know what it is, man. I'm always out here doing my thing. Shout to the party. You know what it is. It's always love. All right? Bless. I'm out here.
Hold up. Gullah. Yeah, man. I haven't. I'll tell y'all, man. It's been one of them weeks, man. Even though we took a break last week Sunday, boy. Let me tell you, boy. I got a story to tell, but I ain't gonna do it on here though. But I got a story to tell, boy. Feel me? It's crazy. But I be like that though. Be like that, man. Virgo season 2. Shout out to y'all Virgos outside. Miss Angela, happy birthday to Miss Angela. You know what I mean? Lineage matters. Shout out to her. You know what I mean? On her Earth Strong today. You feel me? Shout out to her. Virgo season's almost over though. So for y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's in this time of the year, shout out to you. You heard me? Enjoy. At the same time though, I hope everybody's been well and all that good stuff before we get going. And obviously I gotta give a shout out. MusicMediaLounge.com. You heard me live in the booth. Shout out to 954-561-305. Everybody that's tapping in locally, nationally, internationally, live with us or after the fact. You feel me? Appreciate you. For real. At the same time, the harsh reality is live life autonomously. I'm your host, Mac Aether. Shout out to Guy the Green, Baron P. Blaze. Obviously, shout out to all the people of the party. You already know who you is. You know what I'm saying? You already know who you is. Shout out to you. Shoot, man. Shout out to especially though homeboy with the news on Tuesday, man. He been, he been doing his thing, man, and he been covering these local topic, more recent topics, what I wanted to say, and what's going on right here in politics. We don't get on to give you the bullshit news, even though I know y'all seen what's going on with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all seen it, so I don't gotta talk about it because there's too many people talking about it for me to need to talk about it. So, but I know y'all see it though. There's a lot of people being quiet right now. You heard me? But for right reason. You know what I'm saying? Shit gets slippery like baby oil, you heard? But now, we here tonight to do our build as usual, y'all. So tap in, you know what I mean? I'm ready to get it in, y'all. Let's get to the work. Tap in with us. The Gullah Wars, past the present, you heard me? Let's get to it. A couple clips for y'all. We always got to get that before we get into the heck of things, you heard me? Whenever you ready, God.
Double S drifter, separate sipping, and I came with it if she cute with me.
think you should try to tune out when you say I know you love me, but you should just forget about us.
This could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pair of races? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tribe to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Esther Lusty. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
Same price. I'm gonna talk to you about it. Go ahead. You can run it.
Now, the amount of people that have eyes on this is nothing short of amazing. But people need to understand that Diddy and all these other celebrities are the bottom of the barrel. They all have people they look up to and that tell them what to do. And I'm going to give you an example of that right now for entertainment value, of course, because I know absolutely nothing. And I'm just making this stuff up. Now, I'm sure most of us can agree that this man didn't really have what it took to be as successful as he was. So who helped him? Well, let me introduce you to his sugar daddy, Ronald Berkeley. Now, Ron here is not only co-owner of the professional hockey team, the Penguins, but he was also the reason that Diddy's clothing line, Sean John, was even a thing. In fact, Diddy even asked him to be a co-owner. Now, these two were not only... So they finally arrested the diddler. Now, the amount of people that have eyes on this is nothing...
Allowed Black Americans. Here are a few stories that have been left out of the history books. Anthony Crawford. Mr. Crawford owned a 427-acre cotton farm in South Carolina and supported himself by selling the cotton, melons, syrup, and more produced by his land. Mr. Crawford's wife and 13 children all lived on his land with their spouses. He also built a school for Black people. Mr. Crawford was lynched for cursing at white supremacists on his land, and his family was ordered to leave their 427-acre farm. Ocoee, Florida. In Ocoee, there was a time when Black freedmen owned a total of 330 acres plus 48 city lots. Black ownership and a refusal to follow white rules led to a violent Election Day attack on the Black community in 1920. The land lost by Black families, not including buildings, has been accessed by millions. Vero Beach, Florida. The Epstein family lost their generational wealth in 1942 when the U.S. government seized their land through eminent domain to build an airfield. The Epsteins lost 147 acres of land, including a 30-acre fruit grove, 2 houses, and 40 lots. The land would be acquired by the Navy, the city of Vero Beach, and the LA Dodgers team, all while ignoring the family's plea to buy back their taken land. The last official owners of the land sold the property for $10 million in the 2000s. Jasper County, Mississippi. When Black people prospered with their land, white supremacists deliberately torched the courthouse containing Black property records and deeds. The Masonite Corporation was eventually granted a title to 9,500 acres of land, which has yielded millions of dollars in wood, timber, gas, and at least 850,000 oil have been pumped from the land. Remember stories like these the next time a white supremacist or a person who came here after slavery to capitalize off of the American dream tells us to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps or that there's equal opportunity for everyone. There was never any such thing for us, but Black Americans always found a way. Just because stories like these aren't in history books doesn't mean these things didn't exist or happened. Black American freedmen stand up.
Yo, peace. So yeah, remember that clip right there for later on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta, throw things out there, you know what I'm saying, and hope that marinate on you while we go through this build tonight, you know what I'm saying, and certain things we gonna just walk down certain things, you know what I mean? You know how we do, we gonna show some sources and shit like that. Yeah, you know how it goes. But Drake Cobbs, man, shout out to Drake Cobbs, man. Recently, I keep up the brother on, you guys go subscribe to Drake Cobbs music on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Joints, some of the joints Blaze be playing, you know what I mean? With the Mama Chief, you know what I'm saying? And we play a lot of these joints, man. All the titles I can't even put right now. It's on my head. But shout out to Drake. We're gonna play one of the new joints though that is, so give him out, y'all. We'll throw it in the chat so you can go there and download it, listen to it, etc. Play it real quick, give him a little love, and then you already know what time it is. You know what I mean? Tap in.
They eager to learn. They eager to learn. They eager to learn. They eager to learn.
Yo, I'm smooth like Pappy Mason. I go to war with the crooked cops like Larry Davis. Step in real one's basement, laid the foundation. Now I'm trying to free the mind to the black nation. Fuck forgiveness, it's time for retaliation. I give it to you with no hesitation. When I get behind the mic, I feel an elevation. It's like a mental levitation. We can exchange faces. They still say you dangerous, while they killers remain nameless. I show you where the aim is. Shots from the stainless to leave your brainless. Take the chip out and reload like when you take the clip out. I'ma show you what I be about. I don't do this shit for clout. Nigga, I'll punch you in your mouth. You the type to get behind the mic and mumble that shit out. Man, I'm about to stomp this nigga out. When it comes to rapping, I'm pitching the shutout. You come for one of ours, then I'm coming out the dugout. We can get drunk out. Give me the mic. It's my birthright. I'm what the sun is to the day and the moon is to the night. Nigga, I'm the light. Nowadays, these niggas is eager to burn. Going up against me, you might as well get them a urn. It's my turn. Listen and learn. My niggas chase your dreams and not on the corner chasing things. But I know you gotta get it by any means. All for the chasing the cream. You niggas can't fuck with me and my team. Fuck with my team, bro.
They eager to learn. They eager to learn. They eager to learn. They eager to learn.
Definitely tap in, you know what I mean? Go check that out, put that in the chat. You know what I mean? Go support the brother, you know about him. You know what I mean? Pulls up on us, so gotta give him a salute. Driving some heavy right there with all the distraction and the flow. Yeah, you shout out to Drake Cobbs, man. Real talk. Hey, so you ready, guys? Let's go. My first joint, you know what I mean? Kind of like this. So tonight's joint, if you've seen the title, as you see the title, it's spelled, I said Gullah. See, just like how you see it at the bottom of this YouTube clip. And I want to make sure that everything that we about to show is coming from sources or people that obviously have gone over this word. See, this word, you know what I mean? Because, I have gone into a little depthness when we talked about the fact, when we mentioned them. I had to go back and make sure I give this part of heritage tied to Esteluski people. Not all Esteluski people, see, because we have a broad free people of color mixture. But however the case might be, for those who got Gullah or that what they Geechee ancestry, you know what I'm saying, and tied to what they call the transatlantic slave trade. We're gonna get into, I like to say, the Inquisition, especially if you go, you know what I mean? Especially when you understand this word, how we spell it, G''ULLAH. By the way, too, and going through this round of information and digging this up for y'all tonight, ULLAH, if you didn't know, like it's a like literally it's a like the Itzamaya, and then another variation of Itichi. You hear me? Yeah. But at the same time, I want to just point out though that this word, when you take the E out, it literally spelt the same way, right? We're gonna go into some things tonight to, break down why I think it's, what maybe be some confusion and some clarity for those who didn't know. So tap in. Let's go.
Family, welcome. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Hey, we're going to talk about the Gullah language and a particular important point when we're trying to explain and try to understand the fact that there is evidence of Hebrew Israelites that did come to America. So we're going to bring this out to you today in this video about a particular word in the Gullah language, actually the word Gullah, where it came from. But first off, I want to thank all you subscribers to this platform. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. And everyone, please share our videos and put a like on them if you like them. I try to put out accurate truth. And if I don't know the answer to something, I will say so. Otherwise, I will show you accurate information and I will show you the evidence. So with that being said, let me talk with you about the word Gullah. The word Gullah is actually found in the Hebrew language. And the word in Hebrew means redeem. Now you've heard of in the Gullah culture, there is a spiritual song called Kumbaya. And that Kumbaya, the part ba, there is a meaning to that word too. That's in chapter 14 in my book. But let's focus on the word Gullah itself. Let me show you from Strong's Dictionary Concordance what the word means in Hebrew. Okay, here's the Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible by James Strong. We're looking at these slave cabins in South Carolina and in Georgia, where the Gullah community is. Now we know that that spiritual song, Kumbaya, means redeeming. For Lord Yah, Jehovah, to come and redeem us, to save us from slavery. Well, let's see what Strong's Concordance says about that word, Gullah. If you look up the word redeem, and particularly in Leviticus, you see there's various scriptures in Leviticus. It takes us over to column number 1353. And then if we turn over the page and we look at the word redemption, Leviticus 25:24 also brings us to 1353. Okay, so this is a Hebrew word. Let's see what the meaning is. Redeem and redemption. So here we look up 1353, and there it is, the word Gullah. And you see it means kindred, redeem, redemption. All right. So it is a Hebrew word. So is that coincidence that the spiritual song Kumbaya, which talks about redemption, and the word Gullah means redeem or redemption? Is that a coincidence? I think not. So there's our evidence. And there's more evidence in chapter 14 of the book, The Lion. So pick up a copy if you haven't already. We got it all, the information, accurate information, right in chapters in there.
For sure.
The truth is, behind closed
Right
doors.
on the commercial break, boom. So, in that situation, right, I wanted to, I've seen a couple clips. People, obviously were like, a Pan-African might say, no offense, or somebody that actually just have an ancestry to that regions that the Gullah are coming out of, Negro Day Guinea, you know what I'm saying? We'll just probably say they keep it up and preserving their West African traditions tied to the languages, etc. to it. You hear me? Like, so, interesting enough though, I had to go down that rabbit hole either way because language, right? So it's like when you go research the languages tied to the West African languages, especially the Congo, right? Because I'm gonna be pulling up one of them kings in a minute, and their languages and stuff like that. But there's a very group of languages that are actually what we call Semitic, you know what I'm saying, that's in this same region, you know what I'm saying? So this is like and very, something that played on my brain on. I had to go walk it down now. So I'm gonna share it with y'all now. Look, go ahead and give me the source, bro. So I found a Jewish encyclopedia. You know, I like to go to encyclopedias and shit, right? Because I can't go off of this is linguistics. So it's like, is the word tied to this or not? So there we go. So I put the E because I used the Jewish encyclopedia way of spelling it when we did the show tonight. You know what I'm saying? I was hoping maybe one of y'all would catch it and maybe you'd have looked it up and said, "Dang, why that nigga put the G-E in there?" Or excuse me, the E in there. But see, in the last joint when he showed you the accordance, that 1530, I'm bad with numbers right now. What did he say? What, you can go back and watch that there. He pointed in the accordance though, when you go to research it, like you said, and use the Leviticus part, that it did have a little small E if you saw it there though. However, the name of the benediction, which follows the reading of the Shema, it refers to God's redemption of Israel from Egyptian bondage and closes with the words, "Who hath redeemed," G-A-A-L, Israel, Yashrael. The forms for the evening and for the morning service differ. That for the latter being much longer than that for the former. You know what I'm saying? So that is what this tied is tied to this, right? But see, it also, even though it's tied to redemption, you know what I mean? That's why, we're in if you understand now what the word means, you see, I could have just said redemption wars. Like when they were saying it was a Negro war between 1816 and 1858, and people could look it up and say, it says Gullah wars. Well, it was a redemption war, you know what I mean? Them people were warned based off of certain things tied to Old Testament revelations of how their people, or those people at least, in a manner of what they understood was rebelling against their oppressors. When you look at a lot of the slave revolts, they were based off of inspirations of like the Gideon, John Brown and the Gideons, you know what I'm saying, society, and then Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Gabrielle, all them, right? You got some inspiration from that Old Testament, seems like, when you go research it. But I'm gonna go stick to the script here. Both compositions, however, refer to the departure from Egypt and to the crossing of the Red Sea, when Moses and the children of Israel struck up a song to thee in great gladness. And all of them said, quoting from the Song of the Sea, "Who is like thee among the gods, O Lord? Who is like thee, revered in holiness?" Excuse me, I said revered in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders. Both the evening and the morning service then introduced the last verse of the song. The Lord will reign forever and ever. And after a verse from the prophet concerning Israel's redemption come the closing words, blessed. He has redeemed Israel. The past tense, in other words, the exclusive reference to the redemption from Egypt is noted. And they're going to give you you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, slide down a little bit more, God. This is the Jewish encyclopedia. You can go, easily and look it up in there. And this is because they even bring up this, how it goes, the forms of Sephardic. Now, look, forms of Sephardic and the Germanic liturgy. Liturgy is like what they go by to do with the service, if you didn't know that. But different by slightly the latter in the morning introduces. See, now they all got their versions. That's what they basically saying. You know what I'm saying? The Talmud, look, now to get into that Talmud part, right? There's Babylon and different things and exile. Remember this word exile. See, Talmud suggests the following short form of you see how it's spelled? G-E-U-L-L-A-H, as sufficient. We thank thee. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Come down again. See, look. They mentioned how it's used in the phrase, the smiting of the firstborn, as well as dividing of the Red Sea, seems to have been mentioned in the Gullah in early times. Gullah means redemption, once again. You know what I'm saying? Being redeemed, some act of holiness that allowed them to escape something that, you know what I mean? Situation, you know what I mean? Escaping something, being exiled from something. You know what I mean? Your oppressor. And keep it, you have to keep it Yasser though, to be Gullah though. You heard me? Maybe you ain't catch on, you know what I mean? But it's cool. and Yasha means to be upright, then you would be redeemed. You know what I mean? So you do what you're supposed to do, and then your oppressors are doing things to you. So at that point, you know what I mean? You have all right to redeem yourself and not let the oppressors still do what they're doing to you unjustly. You heard me? And put it in them words like that. You feel me? So at the same time, we can slide on. I just wanted to go throw that out there for anybody that wants to understand why we put the GE in there, even though we talking about Gullah folk. You heard me? But like I said, since I went back in the past, right? And I mentioned the Babylonian, I got some notes. Let me get to my notes in a second. But I'm gonna play this part too, because see, the GEULLAH, right? That's gonna be I just broke it down what it said. You heard me? So the redemption, as we would say in English today, right? Redeemed. By the way, we ain't been redeemed yet in what we see going on presently, but I'm gonna get to that. In this situation, this term right here you see, right? It says Rosh Ha Gullah. See what I'm saying? So now it's only a group of people. Like Gullah end up being a region in West Africa. You know, I'm trying to get you there, but I want you to just first. That's why I'm saying it like this, and it's still tied to a heritage of people who were just using the term like GE, and then we can just say Gullah, right? How we would say it. You know what I'm saying? And then you know what I mean? Rosh Gullah though. Rosh Ha Gullah. So Rosh means head, all right, and then the Ha means the. You know what I'm saying? And then the Gullah, you know what I'm saying? It means exile in this situation, right? So the Gullah means exile. So we're dealing with the diaspora. When they say, we say, oh, lost Jews and stuff. And I'm more like, no, exile folk that we in the storyline is obviously Yahudi, you know what I'm saying? And living in the area we call Yahuda, kingdom of that jurisdiction. When Rome comes in, and obviously before that, Babylon and going on Syria and all that good stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about. At the same time, though, this situation though, it's after Rome. You know what I'm talking about? After Rome, you know what I'm saying? Rome's in what they call Judea in this time frame. So Rosh HaGolah are people who are tied to the Davidic line. Just in case you missed some of this right here, I'm about to play, because all of it might not, you know what I mean? But it's a quick little. I'm gonna give it to you now. But the people that saying they tied to the house of David that are now in an exilarch. That's an English term, like that's tied to this word exile, which is tied to that word named Gola, right there at the end of that Rosh HaGolah word right there. So we're gonna play the clip though, and then tap in. Tell me what y'all think. There you go. had to get my notes right, you feel me? I'm ready. Pause it. I just want you to pause it. Can you make that bigger right there? Can we make that bigger for folk right there where it says at the top? There we go. So as you see, I said Rosh Gullah. Well, it said Rosh Ha-Gullah. So in this situation, I like to start at a certain point so you can read this part for yourselves too. But as it says here, in fact, David pursued his aspirations to high office in more gradual fashion between 1082 and 1089. Documents call him merely Nasi or Davidic dynast, which is after all what he was. Only beginning in 1085 was he called racist. That's racist. I might be saying it. Y'all see Rayyis, Ray, yes. Okay. Then it says leader, not yet. You know what I'm saying? Ra is al Yahud. You know what I'm saying? Now it says, although he seems to have exercised Mevorak, or Mevorak, threw me off right there. See, I got these words right here. Mevorak, right? Progenitives already, and had indeed usurped his office. Then in 1090 and 1091, David appears with the title Rosh Ha-Gullah, head of the Diaspora or Exarch, a title that was meant to convey the status and privileges of the Ra is al Yahud, that a leader from the venerable line of the Exarchs in Iraq was now the Egyptian Rosh Ha-Gullah, stood as yet another symbol of how the Iraqi center had translated itself into Egyptian soul. But it was a transformation that had come about over a course of decades. You heard me? So yes, shout out to Kuti Mayo though. I see you. Shout out to you, homie. This is gonna be interesting, by the way. And you play a little bit more. Play a little more. You find this part that I want to get to here. Stop right there. Yeah, right there. Yeah, right there. I said we're going to go from the past to the present. You got to follow me on this one. At the head of all is this rectors of academics and representatives of the communities stand Rabbi Daniel ben Hasadai. You know what I mean? Hasidai, however you might pronounce it. And it says, who is called Rosh Galut. See, that's another, just Gola, Galut, variations. You mean the same thing. Exarchs, tied to the word exile, people are exiled, right? And who traces his descent to King David. I told y'all the house of David, this exarch thing. You feel me? You know, if you ain't marked with the exile, when remember last time y'all were with me, I was showing y'all what the word more meant. Because see, that's another variation tied to people that was in an exile position, following the exarchs. They had titles like Mar and Moran and stuff like that too, tied to them also being tied to the Rosh Ha-Gullah. All these things are intermixed, you know, you know what I'm saying? Maranatha. But at the same time, this Ben David, Daoud here says there, noble of David right there, see? And he yields enormous authority over all the Jewish communities of the countries of the head of the Muslims, Emir al-Mu'min, because that is what Muhammad had ordained his descendants. The Caliph granted to the exarch a document with a seal to confirm his authority over all the Jewish community. Remember, ain't no J's back then, you know, but you know what I mean. They don't know, you know what they're talking about. Don't be petty. And he also decreed that all Muslims, Yahudi, for y'all that understand, you know, and other nationalities of his kingdom, and must rise and salute the Exarch wherever he appears, and that the disobedient would be flogged 100 times. When he, again, the Exarch, goes to see the great king, the caliph, he is accompanied by Jewish and non-Jewish horsemen who exclaim in their language, Arabic, "Make way for our master, the son of David." He rides the horseback, attired in silk embroidered. I mean, he decked out basically. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he decked out. Feel me? We're gonna slide to the next joint though. That's all I wanted to get out of this right here. I'm gonna read this to y'all real quick too. You know what I'm saying? In this situation, as I said in the context, you know, I mean, in chat, we getting into it. You can leave it right there. See that Gullah, right? So this is we get into West Africa. We're moving along. You know what I'm saying? But before I go even touch this same word, as you see how it's spelled down, right? I'm gonna go ahead and read this to y'all real quick though. So again, Harash Gullah refers to the Exarch, a title given to the head of a Jewish community, Yahudi, in Babylonia, modern-day Iraq, during the late antiquity and the early medieval period. The term Rosh Gullah means head of exile and is designated for the leader of the Jewish diaspora, Yahudi diaspora community under foreign rule. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, us right now, we under foreign rule. But yeah, particularly after the Babylonian exile, for those who trace it back and read the book like that, you know what I'm talking about? But most of them don't talk about exile. They like to just say people lost. But however, you know, the Exarch emerged after destruction of the first temple in Jerusalem in 586 BCE. When many Jews were exiled to Babylonia by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar, the institution of the Exarch became more formalized during the Parthian Empire, 247 BCE to 224 CE, and continued under the Sassanian Empire, 224 to 651 CE. Right? It says the Exarch was recognized by both the Jewish community and the ruling authorities as the secular and political leader of other people who obviously identify themselves as Yahudi, or as it would say here, I'm just going to say what it says, as Jews in exile, right? You know what I mean? Roles and responsibilities. The Rosh Gullah served as a political leader for the Jewish community, representing them in the dealings with the ruling authorities. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the Sanhedrin in the time frame of Moran Yahshua HaMashiach, and how they was rocking with the Romans. They had them Sadducee Greek ways, Hellenistic ways, and decided to turn homeboy in. Yeah, they was in them same positions too at that time, because Rome, you know what I mean? That's who was the foreign ruler of them people at that time. But however, you know what I'm saying, Rosh Gullah, again, this was going on, political again, all that good stuff. Although not a religious scholar in the traditional rabbinic sense, the Exarch had significant influence over the Jewish academies of learning in Babylonia, especially Sura and Pum Bedita, where the Talmud was being compiled. The Exarch was responsible for maintaining order within the Jewish community, overseeing taxation, adjudicating, excuse me, I'm tripping. My eyes, y'all, cataracts, legal disputes, and sometimes even appointing community officials. And it gets into the decline. I'm reading all this to you so you can know. Decline of the Exarch. The power of the influence of the Exarch began to wane after the Muslim conquest of Persia in the 7th century. That's AD. You know what I'm saying? And by the 10th century, the position had lost much of its political authority, although, I was right. It still held ceremonial and symbolic importance. You know what I'm talking about? This is obviously when, you know, we get to the time where people like to say, you know, Muslims are running. You know what I'm talking about, from 7-Eleven type shit. You know? Like, so significance in the Jewish history, the role of the Harash Gullah is significant because it highlights the Jewish community's ability to maintain a form of internal self-government even under foreign rule. It also represents the long-lasting connection between Jews in the diaspora and their leadership during periods when they were far from their homeland. The exarch was seen as a descendant of the Davidic line, giving the position a kind of spiritual legitimacy. Now, I had to read all that so you make sure you understand how this Rosh HaGolah and the word Gullah is going to be kind of, you know what I mean? Because the people that are tied to the leadership, they're the ones also, this word Gola, you know what I'm saying? So funny, right? West Africa, Negro de Guinea, right? The Gola, or Gula, because some people are speculating that the word Gullah, by the way, is tied to this right here. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to say. But this is English, right? We know that the language, how we go back, we would go, English now, but Latin, then Greek, then obviously the Semitic languages easily. You know what I'm saying? I would just say Hebrew based off of the, what King James is exposed to you in the introduction of that 1611 Bible. So when you're translating, just get out your, emotions of just language-wise, just linguistic. Where we go with the fact that it's tied to the same word of what we just showed you with the Rosh HaGolah and these people that were in exile positions from in Old Testament times going into the time frame of the Muslim conquest of these areas. So when it says the Gola and the Gullah are a West African ethnic group who share a common cultural heritage, language, and history, and who live primarily in the western, northwestern Liberia and eastern Sierra Leone, the Gola language is an isolate, and which it look isolate within the Niger Congo, Kingdom of Congo, right? Language family. As of 2015, it is spoken about, and it says 278,000 people. Now, peep it. The name Gola is a possible source for the name of the Gullah, a people of African origin living on the islands and the coastal regions of Georgia, shout out to Georgia before, South Carolina, and the southeastern United States. We could just say Alabama, you know what I'm saying? You could say Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? Florida, you know what I mean? Easy, I'm going to show you that, you know what I'm talking about. Popular area, obviously, tied to this group of people is also called Angola, right? With the Angola, Angola. So the name Gola is possible source. The name Gullah, like I said right there, shows you that. That's why I'm trying to be non-biased about it, like I said. But I just walked back, obviously going back more, obviously before this area was even called that by anybody that came in contact with it in that manner of their rulership when you go back, however the case might be, right? But see, Sierra Leone, Liberia, see, that's the old, from there down into the Congo. And that's like Negro de Guinea. See? So, matter of fact, there is something cool I want to add to this junk. You heard? I'm going to send it to you. So, matter of fact, yeah, because I want to show a map. Because this area is going to be tied to the same, matter of fact, let me just pull it up real quick. Hold on now. Give me 1 second. Got you. I thought I had this. I had really thought about sending it to you the first time but you see the Zulu on the Dumu and all that, known as King Peter. You know what I'm saying? If anybody's know, you should check it out. I really need to find this though. Pause for 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. That damn map, dog. Man, shit, I ain't typing it in right now. I'm gonna pull it up though. We ain't gonna stop the flow of this shit. I'm gonna get it. Just on the spot. I gotta type it in the right way. Keep moving up. I just want to see that. You see this Gola, so you see how they connecting it, right, in the region, right? But see, it's the things that take place between who you think is the first European group of people that go into the Congo and these areas. You hear me? You know what I mean? The first European group of people, right? And the language influence, that they influenced on what we call the West Africa area. That obviously a person by the name of Alfonso the First, he even changed his name. You feel me? He was influenced so much by these group of European people. That's what they don't like to say. But the Portuguese folk, right? Portuguese, Alfonso and them, that's tied to that right there, and their influence on what we're showing you right here coming up. Yeah, he got caught up in the slave trade. See, when they say the slave trade, some people might. That's why they be like, "Oh, some white folk just went down there and grabbed a whole bunch of West Africans and stuff like that." You know what I'm talking about? Nah, the kingdoms, right? Prisoners of war. You know what I mean? People that were in certain positions and exiled positions, and because of what took place between that time frame we just showed you earlier, when the people that were in excellent positions and their positions start to wane. You know what I'm talking about? So people obviously now, once the power comes in, a lot of people are taking, either you rocking with the Roman Catholic Christian situations in some kind of form, or you was messing with the Muslims. It's just, how that shit, you in the hood, Bloods and Crips, or how that shit work, you know what I mean? But at the same time, when Alfonso did first live, it says, the Congo, born, look at his name, Menviba a Nzinga in 1456, succeeded his father, Zhao the First of the Congo, and ruled the Congo Kingdom from circa 1507 to circa 1542. Now, what was Alfonso first renowned for? While his father had welcomed the first Portuguese travelers, that would be, by the way, Zhao the First, who's obviously before him, which means he's obviously before 1507, that, the Portuguese, is in relations with, his pops, basically. Alfonso the First went further in embracing the religion, though, at expense of tradition. Some historians view this as a strategic move to ensure good relations with Portugal. However, he was mindful of keeping a mutual beneficial partnership with the Portuguese and showed negotiation skills through his many letters, which he wrote to King Emmanuel I and his successor, Zhao III, particularly once the slave trade got out of control. What did education mean to Alfonso I? Christianity came with reading and writing. As a ruler, Alfonso constantly exchanged letters with the Portuguese crown, mostly concerning religious practice and administration issues. He also sent one of his sons, Henry Kinu A. Mavimba, to be trained as a priest. Henrik ended up being consecrated as one of the first, if not the first, African Catholic bishop in 1518. All right. So people taking on these ways of the European ways, they would say, the Portuguese specifically, put a name on it, right? Lusitania. How did Alfonso I get involved in the slave trade? Many criticize Alfonso for participating in the slave trade. Trading in slaves at the time was legal, even in African societies. Slaves were to be found mostly as prisoners of war, but they were treated differently than those shipped away. They were still regarded as human beings, and in some cases would see their rights and freedoms restored. The Portuguese crown considered slaves to be the country's most valuable resource, and Alfonso accepted to trade in slaves, not fully aware of the impact of slavery in exchange for Portugal's support in setting up an administrative system and building religious institutions. You think they think it's not worthy to be kept in their land? You heard me? Who's been putting on the ship and sent away? Who do you think it is? The Gullah. The Gullah, who now are saying Gullah, redeem me, man. But at the same time, it's All makes sense. I'm gonna show y'all something. Right? Now, slide down a little more. Right? Did Alfonso, I think twice about? See, I said it. Child, I did that. Did Alfonso the First think twice about the slave trade? With new plantations in South Tom, that's St. Thomas, by the way, in English, demanding huge numbers of laborers, the hunger for slaves grew. And soon after the trade got out of control, Alfonso tried to rein in on it. In a letter he wrote to the Portugal's King João III in 1526, he was vocal about how the trade was gradually depleting his kingdom and how he wanted to stop it. Our country is being completely depopulated, and your highness should not agree with this, he pointed out, stressing that it is our will that these kingdoms there should not be in any trade of slaves nor outlet for them. The trade was driven by the greed of both the Portuguese merchants and Alfonso's own people, who, as he wrote, were keenly desirous of the goods brought into the region by the merchants. You know what I mean? So your own folk doing it to you. You feel me, God? Everybody out there, I don't know if you caught that. You see what I'm saying? It's not no just some old grab on anybody type shit. You heard me? They knew who they giving up, people that they got working for them, tribes in the area they were warring against. So now, they got certain, they're not going, they know these people ain't going to bow down to that religious situation because of the trade system that these folks in power and in the kingdom, you know what I mean, such as homeboy right here that we're showing you, displaying the slave trade on both sides. Now, because the Portuguese come in and they the ones we know are tied to this word Negro. And even though the first group of people, funny enough, right, as 9 Ether, I keep telling you, I go back to that El Negro series. We're going to have 9 Ether, you just can't do Sunday. We're going to rearrange that for like a Tuesday or something with him coming up soon. But yeah, that El Negro series we were talking about as he went back, doing like a genealogy trace tied to the house of David. How these El Negro term were also tied to a certain group of people, the term Moran. See, El Negro, Yahya El Negro and his lineage, going back to 850 AD, we got back to, right? Easy. And these people would be considered what they call Jews or Yahudi in an exilic position, living in what we call the Safar, that'd be the Iberian Peninsula, Lusitania, Hispania, Lisbon to be exact. Either way, they are the ones also, though, that's going down after a papal bull's passed in 1452. They're fleeing. It's interesting enough. They're fleeing because of what Portugal and Spain is doing now, dealing with the Roman Catholic Church. And they're definitely what we call, either you was a crypto Jew or what we call a Marrano, new Christian, go back further than this Inquisition time frame, but still, however, just go back to Rome. You can see that. This traditional thing of people that got exiled, though, from ancient times, that's probably been sitting in that West Africa area. Now, listen, the Tartarians come into play. People they call Phoenicians, that shit come into play. You heard me? You're going to be like, how they get there? Well, the people that got exiled, they fled with them people I just mentioned. That's a whole nother discussion. So I need to go. We're going to get back to that soon, y'all. So either way, though, I want to show the sister, though. I showed the dude, so I want to give the sister, right? You got the sister next. Yeah, Queens were involved in this situation too. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not being non-biased about this. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to find that map too. It's gonna give me a little time. Maybe I got it here. You see her right now. Portuguese still involved now. So I'm trying to tell y'all, keep it simple, put names on it, right? Same time frame as we just gave you Alfonso, right? See, and look, you know what I mean? You see the kingdom of Ndongo, right? And the Portuguese, Queen Njinga, and the dynasty of women. Now, shout out to my sisters out there. Y'all had shit going on over there now. You know what I mean? Before people start, they, as it said, your kingdom started getting depleted, you know what I'm saying, in different case scenarios because of what y'all were doing. But however, you can slide down though, you know what I'm saying? Just look at that time frame, 1515 to 1909. They said the dynasty of a woman's sovereignty. You hear me? Found in the highlands of modern Angola. See, this is where we get to Angola. You see that Gola. We was talking about that Gola. You see that Gola, but they just put the A in. Okay, but either way, near the Atlantic coast, obviously the kingdom of Indoga political history was to be inextricably tied to the Portuguese colonial interests in West Central Africa. For nearly a century, the armies of Indoga battled with the Portuguese in multiple wars that resulted in the loss of most of Indoga's territory until the rise of Queen Njinga ended the deepest colonial expansion into Central Africa. Njinga of Ndongo is undoubtedly the best known queen in pre-colonial Africa's history. During her remarkable reign, she was involved in dozens of wars with the Portuguese and forged trans-regional alliances with the Congo Kingdom and the Dutch. See, the Dutch and is siding with them against the Portuguese. See, that's interesting. All right. You know, a lot of them folk went up there what they call the Netherlands. They call Jews, by the way. The same areas. Trade system. Yeah, they fighting over, they're helping, you know what I mean? Siding with situations for, you know what I mean? That's what it's about. So then this article outlines the history of Ndogo's wars with Portugal and the exceptional circumstances through which Queen Njinga managed to preserve her kingdom's autonomy and establish a dynasty of women sovereigns. You know what I'm talking about? They're going to show you a region. Look, boom. Click that X though. All this shit gonna line on up. I'm gonna show you some shit if I can find this. Damn it, man. I can't find this shit to save my life right now, bitch. Where did I put that bitch? Map, man. What we got next, guy? We can slide though. You show you, oh yeah, show that region though. Let them people that you can see this area. If I do find it, y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. If I do find it, man. Lasando. Lancados. You see what it says there, right, though? See, guys got through giving you the Portuguese and all that. Lusitania, by the way. Brazil was called Novo Lusitania, by the way. The Portuguese territory that they also named Negro de Terra. You see? But see, Lasando, literally, the thrown out ones or the cast out ones. That's going to be kind of like dealing with the same regions of what I was reading about. Just the other kingdoms I just mentioned, there was areas called the Negro de Guinea. See what I'm saying? That the Portuguese, that's their term, and the regions that they're going in for trade and making power moves with the kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in the religious influences, like there's a play at hand. They did it to the indigenous folk over here too, but at the same time, when they made their play in there, it was like from 1411, but they made a run after Henry the Navigator in 1460. And they went to Portugal, so Portuguese people started going down there into goddamn West Africa. See, it was a problem after 1492, and Inquisition went out, and Spain and Portugal got into a war before they, had to do that treaty of 1494. But still, this land area and the people, you see what it says at the bottom, Inquisition. See, it says Lacondo. That's meaning it's tied to the exile. These people are in what we call Gullah, Angola territory. All right. Cape Verde, Guinea. See that word Guinea? Sierra Leone, right? And on the coast of West Africa, where it says many Jews, often new Christians, Moranos, escaping persecution from the Portuguese Inquisition. They're where God? They're in Angola, right? They're in the Guinea. They're in West Africa. Look at that word Gullah. But at the same time, Lasando often took African wives. This is the Portuguese folk now that's fleeing because of the Inquisition into the same region where the people are Gullah people living in these kingdoms, territories in West Africa that Portuguese is trading, and merchants are coming in and taking women as their wives and having family. That's a part they often tell you, because see, once the man came in and then the Inquisition took place, then guess what? Them people got to flee or they got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? As I said, they some new Christians. They got to go to work. They subject to the Portuguese crown situation, and that Inquisition ain't no joke. You don't know about it. You know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, can you click on the Portuguese Inquisition for the folk? Maybe we can give them that real quick. We doing good on time. Here we go. The Portuguese Inquisition, officially known as the General Council of the Holy Office of the Inquisition in Portugal, was formally established in Portugal in 1536 at the request of King John III, although King Emmanuel I had asked for the installation of the Inquisition in 1515 to fulfill the commitment, you know what I'm saying? Basically to kick out the Jews. Moranos, and the word Morano is tied to, you know, exile, being underneath foreign rule, Rome particularly, and then, you know, the different crowns got their ways, you know what I mean? Especially Portugal, you know, that Papal Bull of 1452, that was the Portuguese that did that. And that's when folks start fleeing, tied to these areas in what we call West Africa, and they start to mix. This is how we get. Well, look, matter of fact, y'all, you can take it off. You can take it off. You can take it off. But it says Lacondos. I like to say it, Lacondos, y'all. But dog, Alpha, shout out to Alpha, always correcting me on this. So I'm going with the correction because it's like a Latin way of. I guess you got to roll it. Lasando often took African wives from local ruling families, thereby securing protection and trading ties that worked to the advantage of both sides. They established clandestine trading networks in weaponry, spices, and slaves. This black market angered the Portuguese crown. Look, these folk were doing, like, you know what black people do. You know what I'm talking about? Black market. You know what I'm talking about? You got it for 50, I can get it to you for 20. Come holler at me. So in that situation now, you know what I'm saying? It says, you know, they couldn't even, you know, it says the black market angered the Portuguese crown by disrupting its ability to collect taxes. You hear me? Shit. Although never large in numbers, the mixed race children of the Portuguese and the African, that would be also the Jew who fled and went and mixed in with those people in the Guinea, in those areas up there, Gambia, Angola, Sierra Leone, Liberia, areas going all the way down into Western Central Africa kingdoms that we just mentioned, examples of. Although never large in numbers, the mixed race children born to Lasando and their African wives and concubines served as crucial intermediaries between Europeans and native Africans. They were often bilingual and grew up in both cultures, sometimes working as interpreters with traders. These mixed race people wielded significant power in the early development of port economies of Basu, Cache, and surrounding areas. You know what I mean? They basically, what we call, this is how we get Creole, by the way, too, with the K. Before it became with the C, it's the Portuguese and this West African connection that created what we got today in history today. We say Creole. Everybody got their different variations of them, mixtures of saying things, but you know what I mean. That's just the history of how it worked out. You slide down a little bit more. I think that's it, though. I just wanted to make sure I got them the Lasando in there, because it's all connected to the same regions. I'm showing you how that, and how them Gullah folks, see them Gullah folk is tied to this mixture right here too. You know what I'm talking about? Because the Creole and everything in the region obviously is tied to the Portuguese. They had the monopoly on West Africa. Just like they were the first ones, obviously, to kind of come over here, as they would say, and have the trade routes that the people in West Africa, that's, you know, they will obviously know when the Mali Empire, you know, is able to skill Muhammad, by the way, of the Mali Empire takes over what we call really the Songhai Empire in 1492. And then shit just goes different at that point, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I can't find that other damn source, y'all. Apologize. But it was supposed to be anyway. It was just a spur of the moment thought. However, the we're gonna move forward. I don't want to. This is the chunk that really need to be understood. Dealing with these Gullah, and other groups of people mixed in that they say come out of the West African situation, obviously into the Americas, and being in exiled positions, Gullah, but we got to, that part of that one drop joint tied to these people too, that chattel slavery, which is tied to the Inquisition. Because you see, there was kings in West Africa that took on the ways of the Christian ways, just like how folks over here did, the indigenous folk that took on the Christian ways. There's something common, huh? And then there's beef because you get your people that want to keep their traditions. You know how it should be. See, it's just, that's how it works. But now we get into the Americas, though. 18th century, obviously, the Gullah Wars obviously kick in, and they obviously, like I said, 1816 and 1858 earlier. But prior to that, obviously the Yamasee Wars of 1715, and those indigenous people who obviously, these same people that are obviously later now going to be confirmed to be known as obviously in the traditional way as we know it today, tied to that West African, North American slave situation, tied to the Inquisition. The best, joint that we could go with is Gullah. You heard me? But at the same time, when we break down what we just showed you the word go back to, these people ain't just some regular West African folk. They got this mixture, see? And they got this tied to this, certain creed that people like to call Jew. You heard me? Yahudi. New Christians, cryptos and stuff like that, mixed with Muslims and all sorts of things. But this time frame, I ain't gonna be biased, They got the African part too. Like I said, they're speaking multiple languages, you know what I'm saying? But when we get over here, though, we get to like something that take place right after, like, obviously that war in 1715, we get closer to this 18th century and Revolutionary War. And just another group of folk that's, in Savannah, Georgia, and these areas, and not everybody is doing the same things and coming from the same situation. But people are taking sides. I'm gonna say it like that, though. So the King of England soldiers, basically, King of England soldiers. I just want to put that out there real quick. Armed blacks in Savannah and its hinterlands during the Revolutionary era. They was on Gullah time. You heard me? They were trying to get redeemed. You heard me? Because the British said, we gonna give you guys land and freedom, redemption. You heard? So now, I really want to slide down, guys, real quick to page 2. I think it's page 2 here, and it's going to probably be to the right. Yeah, that's it. It's on Black Dragoons. See, them folk ain't Gullah. You feel me? But they black though. But that's an infantry term. You know what I'm saying? Right there. I just want to throw some things. You can go and look it up. Dragoons. You know what I'm saying? That's another group of people warring up. This is Savannah, Georgia, during the American Revolution. You heard me? You know what I mean? Charleston. You see, it's right there. And come down there and come down there. Let's skip through this real quick though. Georgia. Here's what I'm gonna read it. Although precise figures do not exist, one historian estimates that roughly 10,000 slaves from Georgia were dislocated during the war. Of these, a relatively small number of loyalist blacks left Charleston and Savannah with the British. Far more stayed behind to face the wrath of the masters. During the war, with planters and overseers often absent either on active service or at political meetings, and the regular slave patrol system is in abeyance. Many slaves left their plantations and visited relatives and loved ones or traveled to Savannah to look for paid employment. Moreover, both loyalist and patriot forces took slaves from plantations as spoils of war, and these slaves trailed behind the armies with the equipment and supplies. After the war, planters expended much effort, often in vain, in trying to track down the slaves who they thought should have been on their properties. I mean, you see how they saying these people just walking around, going visiting the people and everything got. You know, these people ain't around. Like, what kind of slavery this is? This what kind of boy? You really ain't watching your property too well. You're talking about, you know what I'm saying? But I guess that's what people thought it was, like when they watched, you know, I mean, Kunta Kinte and the Roots and shit. Yeah, but yeah, you know, that's some bullshit. But however, this come down real quick though. There's a little more here. The Low Country. So this is the revolutionary time frame, right? That's leading up to things. So, and it's showing you different groups of people that's, you know, they said black lawyers in Charleston, they left their shit too. They're like, man, that's shit. And we ain't even talking about the indigenous people in there. We're just talking about people that's like, and they call them black loyalists. There's some black Europeans, by the way, that's tied to Britain. They ain't like George Washington and them trying to break away from who they were loyal to. Like, we British subjects. We don't want to be American subjects. So this whole thing, though, it says some Low Country slaves took advantage of the confusion and caused by the war to flee into swamps. This was the point at which runaway slaves became Maroons, intending to create their own distinct communities, completely separate from the white society. One of the largest of the communities formed on the islands on the Savannah River, about 18 miles upstream from Savannah. These islands are located within a large kink of the river, where it diverts from direct north-south route to Mender, the northeast toward its Perrysburg, before the gently heading back northwest. The main channel of the river forms the eastern side of an oval-shaped area of the land that is roughly 9 miles from north to south and 6 miles from west to east, and its widest extent. The western boundary is formed by the Abercorn Creek and the Mill Creek, formerly known as Clark Creek, which eventually enjoins the main channel at the top of the oval shape. Big Collins Creek and Bear Creek split this land north to south. I mean, it's, you know, this shit is extensive right now. You know what I'm talking about? I'm telling you, like, the link these people let you know this whole area, they say runaway, but you got free people in the area too. But see, this part of Georgia right here, they didn't really have control of Georgia like that. That's why I'm showing you this area right. They knew this area is going into what we call still Florida. Remember, at this time, Florida is way more than what y'all think it is, you know, as far as, you know, Tallahassee, right? It's a little north than that. Like, people knew once you got in the little buffers area between right before Tallahassee, you basically in free land, you know, because it's Spanish. But the Spanish were like, they ain't had control of them people that's in that northern area either. You feel me, God? They were like, man, look, we live in more south. They like in Orlando. You feel me? And down here, see? And they lose that whole northern area is the buffer. You got to go through nothing but black folk. You know what I mean? From Tampa to Jacksonville, going all the way up, all that right there is what they call Gullah or Maroon people, because of the term they used to just, the Negro War and all that good stuff right there. Because he was like, and don't forget the black loyalists that's down here, they don't want to be up there with them too. You feel me, God? So a whole bunch of people that's like in this time frame of American Revolution that's sitting in these areas, not just the Gullah folk and the indigenous folk and then the black European folk with some white European too. You feel me? It's a whole gumbo. You feel me? Geet you with it then. So we're gonna slide to the next joint though. I just want to point out, like, you know, and we'll put this in the chat for the folk. You know, that's here with us. We'll put this in the chat for y'all. But yeah, man, it's the king and England soldiers. And I pointed out that maroon thing for a reason. See, you see that right there, how that correlate? See how they say maroon, and then look at the name of the city, God. Look at the name of the city. 1821. We didn't jump from the American Revolution, right? This is around the time that they said Florida was given to the United States, right? 1820, right? Okay, yeah. See, I just said that. I'm trying to show y'all something. Say no timeline from America. Now, right now, remember, the Gullah Wars started in 1816. Feel me, God? That's 5 years before this right here. Feel me? So they were fighting before they actually got given up, so to speak, by Spanish governor buddy that were like, look, I'm gonna let y'all have this right now, right? But did you put the thing in the chat for them? Or want me to do it? I got you. So that right there is. So I won't forget. Let me put this in the chat first, y'all, so y'all can read the whole thing yourselves. That last source, which I think will give everybody a lot more details to the situation. I think I paused. I might check. Can y'all hear me out there? I think my shit froze for a second. Do you hear me now? All right, cool. So boom, I'll put that in the chat so y'all can get that. Savannah never burned. In this joint though, because now I'm taking a timeline with this joint, and I'm showing you things from West Africa. I went back ancient T. I took you anciently Babylon and shit with the term Gullah, Harash Gullah. You hear me? Head of the exile, and how them folk want to be redeemed tied to what they went through back then. You see what I'm saying? Paul. But I do think our folk today ain't been redeemed yet. You know what I mean? With our mixtures here in the Americas, feel me? Specifically with a certain heritage, and we got some people that's using terms like that in our heritage. Definitely, But as we walk this up, though, late April 1821, U.S. attack on Maroon community at Angola. You're like, I know. I'm not talking about obviously West Africa. This is in Florida. Most Black Seminole historians, and we got Dr. Dixon, so he's going to pull back up on us on this right now, see, on these conversations like this, because of the Negro War conversation, see? And it says, most Black Seminole historians have accounted for the Negro Fort and the towns of the Sudan River in the second decade of the 19th century. But until recently, an equally substantial settlement that formed in the southwest Florida had gone all but ignored. Some of the first Africans arrived to the region as early as 1770s and 1780s amidst the War of Independence. See, I just showed y'all that. In the first 2 decades of the 19th century, each act of the American aggression brought new and larger waves of Black and Seminole refugees. Slide up. As the first wave occurred amidst the Patriot invasion on Bowlegs and Painstown in the Seminole capital of Alachu. In January 1813, shortly before the Patriots made the final assault on Alachu, Creek agent Benjamin Hawkins reported that, I like to say Yacht Seminole, to be honest with you, Yacht Seminole, but it says Seminole and Blacks were already retreating to southwest Florida in advance. You see what I'm saying? Let me slide up a little bit more. I received from an Indian of note the following information. Payne is dead of his wounds. The warring Indians have quit this settlement and gone down to Telaloog, Chapacopia, a creek which enters the ocean south of Machito River at a place called the Fishery. Such of their stocks as they could command have been driven in that direction, and the Negroes were going the same way. The lands beyond the creek towards Florida Point were, for a considerable distance, open savannas with ponds, and still beyond the land and stony to the point. Exactly why I'm doing all this, right? Because see, this is all tied together, see. Hawkins later reported, Negroes now separated and at a distance from the Indians on the hammocks or the hammock, not from the Tampa Bay. After they fled Patriot invasion, more specifically, Hawkins was alluding to the Peace River where it flows into Charlotte Harbor near present-day Punta Gorda. Telelu Chapacopia was the creek town of the Talachopoco, located in the main crossing point of the Peace River, present-day Fort Meade in Polk County. The Fisher Hawkins mentioned was Charlotte Harbor, where one of the 6 Cuban ranchos on the southwest coast was established. 200 men operated these sites during the fishing season. From November to April, a multi-ethnic conglomeration of Spanish, Seminoles, Creeks, and Black Seminoles. For years, many natives from across the southeast would travel down to the southwest Florida during the winter for these plentiful hunting grounds and exchange deerskin and other crafted you can slide up. Crafted items for trade goods with the ranchos. The Seminoles were part of this movement and profited by servicing parties passing into and out of the hunting grounds of Talachopoco. It was likely that their Black Maroon allies were familiar with the location as well. After the destruction of their towns in Alachu and Talapocho served as a primary area of refuge and relief for the destitute Seminoles and the Red Sticks, while their Black allies established themselves in a separate location to the north. See, this is what we get into. This Angola. Slide up. Slide up. Prospect Bluff. As you know, Negro Fort. So, oh, that there, slide up, guys. You know, if you didn't know the Forbes company, John Forbes and Company, they was getting busy back there, trading and shit in that area amongst these folk. You know what I'm saying? You can slide up, guys. That's all I got? I don't keep going. I'm looking for the Angola part. One more time. I know. No, there it is right there. Go back up. Angola. That's all. I just want to hit Angola. Go up a little more. I can read down from there. Keep going up. All right there. All right. So, John Forbes, that's where I'm starting at, right? Went down to Tampa Bay to look for these fugitives and found that they were settled around Charlotte Harbor. This community was referred to as Angola by Cuban fishermen and became the last remaining stronghold for the Black Maroons in Florida after Jackson's invasion. Its precise location was close to the Oyster River, present-day Manatee River, a tributary of Sarasota Bay near Sarasota. In 1821, a South Florida expeditionary mapped out the region. The map charted was entitled A Draft of Sarasota or Runaway Negro. Let's keep sliding up now. Keep sliding up now. I'm back on point. Runaway Negro plantations or runaway Negro plantations. I mean, setting up your own plantation. That means you're running your own shit. The third refuge wave came with Jackson's assault on Miccosukee and the Suwannee. With Jackson's destruction of Black and Native power in northern Florida, various Black Seminole, Red Stick, and Spanish settlements were established on the southwest Florida coast, stretching from Tampa Bay down to Peace River. Red Stick leader Peter McQueen and his followers found refuge at Talacopocho. See, that's that Scottish. They mixed into this. The British loyalists that were really Scottish. That's why you see them the name like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they mix it in and like, you know what I mean? They mix it in. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that part. The Powells. You know what I mean? So that's why I say it's a whole bunch of things tied to this area, these Maroon communities and stuff like that now. You feel me? A lot more into it now. But see, the Angola part's tied to that, what people would say the West African side of what we say in Estelusti, Gullah. You know what I mean? Tied to Angola and all that right there in our Maroon culture. You know what I'm saying? We, as Estelusti, acknowledge that, like I said, the West African part of the heritage tied to the Estelusti traditions of, you know, the mixture between the indigenous side, the European side, and obviously Gullah. But then I just gave you what this word Gullah, you know, obviously as a word is tied to, right? So I mean, your folk kind of tied to some more stuff too than just being called West Africans, right? Being that they tied to that exilart situation, exile. keep getting targeted over generations and shit. Yeah. Negro de Guinea, or the ones in this land now after the Inquisition here, Negro de Terror. We almost there. So that's really, I want to just point out the Angola part, you know what I mean? That it's all the way in the 1820s. They're using this term in Florida. Obviously, shout out to my folk in Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, and all them areas tied to what they were called maroon, native, you know what I'm saying, black native communities, obviously, mixtures and different things. We're keeping it Gullah, though, because we know we've been fighting based off being exiled. Like when Jackson came in to Florida and did what he did, he exiled the folk off their land type shit. You heard me? That's the example. They was, you know, when we be like, damn, we need to be Gullah. You keep coming on our shit. What's up? But however, we can slide to the next joint now. We slide. Preserving Gullah culture. So quick little shout out to that. Play a little clip, you know, good morning. You know what I'm saying? They got this joint on there. So I was like, let me play a little bit of this, let you see a little something. If you ain't seen this joint, check it out. Tap in.
And we want to turn now to this rich tradition we've talked about here on the show before. Many Americans know a little about. Not too long ago, it was ABC's Kenneth Moten. He introduced us here to the Gullah tradition of basket weaving.
And now he is back with more on how the Gullah Geechee culture has evolved in America from past to present.
Along the Atlantic coast in the South, that Gullah Geechee spirit.
Oh, when I get there, joy, joy, joy.
And there's no ambassador quite like 80-year-old Mary Rivers Legree of St. Helena Island in South Carolina.
This was not widely known that there was something special about our culture.
Gullah Geechee, African-American descendants of enslaved, mostly West Africans who were forced to work the rice, indigo, and Sea Island cotton plantations on the southeastern coast. A vibrant, rich culture with deep African roots was born, along with a way to communicate, a unique English-based Creole language called Gullah.
Where Hannah from? Where Hannah from? Where are you from? Your eye is too long. Your eye is too long. That means you're greedy. You see a lot and you want to try to eat up everything.
My eye is very long.
Yeah.
Oh, the food, Southern, well-seasoned, favorites like shrimp and grits, okra and red rice, all original Gullah dishes. And that influence on art, generations of Gullah basket weavers and their signature sweetgrass baskets. Today, an estimated 1 million Gullah people live in this area. Congress designated the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor.
To be able to protect it, preserve it, sustain it, lift up the people.
We spoke with the corridor's executive director, Victoria Smalls in Beaufort, outside the Robert Smalls house. No relation to the Civil War hero for the Union and one of the first African Americans to serve in Congress.
He is a Gullah statesman, I like to call him.
Robert Smalls purchased this property where he was born a slave, advocating for Black land ownership.
My ancestors, Adam and Betsy Smalls, also purchased land during that time, and we still own 20 acres of the land that was purchased. And it is empowering because we can sustain ourselves as a family. We can grow crops on it.
Why is the Gullah culture more important now, today, than ever?
More people are feeling a greater sense of pride about being Gullah and Geechee. When I was growing up in the 70s, people would call you Geechee and those were fighting words.
But then a change.
Let's all go to Gullah, Gullah Island. Gullah, Gullah. Gullah, Gullah.
Many crediting this first of its kind 90s children's show on Nickelodeon, Gullah, Gullah Island.
Happy birthday, Shayna. Happy birthday, Shayna.
Creator, now TV executive Maria Perez Brown featured Ron and Natalie Days and their actual children, highlighting their Gullah backgrounds on St. Helena.
It was this richness and this purity to the culture that it had not in any way, we didn't want to go there and exploit the culture and say, do it like this because it's going to work for camera. And we had ambassadors, right? Ron and Natalie opened those doors for us.
25 years later, Perez Brown says there's still not enough TV content that reflects children of color, but there are more images of the Gullah people.
Between the art and some of the movies and some of the shows that have happened since we did ours, I feel that they have had an opportunity to capture that culture.
Are you more inspired today than you were in the 90s when it comes to this type of programming?
I see the responsibility that we have as creators of color, of television and content in any platform, to make sure that our kids have images that look like them.
On this sea island,
I'm sweeping or I'm cleaning like I was trying to work on the floor.
Legree is the caretaker of one of 3 Gullah praise houses left in the area, built as a gathering place for the enslaved. Concerned Gullah Geechee traditions will fade away among younger generations. You want this to be a source of inspiration?
Yeah, source of inspiration and to pique their memory.
The Gullah elder saying she'll keep working to educate and preserve a culture that helped build a nation. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Beaufort County, South Carolina.
Preservation and representation, so important, and that is just such a special part of the country. That's where I got my reporting beginning, and it's just so incredible to see what they're doing there. All right, Kenneth, thank you for that.
Well, hey there.
Might check in. Your money. All right, so with all that said, what I'm saying, present day, what I'm saying, Gullah, you hear me? People preserving, go to that corridor. I have been there. Obviously, it's not that far from the Amasi, what I'm saying, and Yuchi, Wale territories, really just north of it, where that they're preserving a corridor, particularly. Shout out to Queen Quet. She does a festival every year. I will tell you how to go check it out. Obviously, too, they got a lot of people that be doing the tours of the Gullah Geechee joint when you go up there. And it's a rich culture, man. The Carolinas, man. Also, I would tell y'all to get that book, Carolina Genesis. Now, I can't remember the author's name off the top of my head. I'm gonna bring it next time. But it's very interesting that the Gullah side of many of our people's culture, what I'm saying, a mixture of obviously other things you have in your lineage as well. For those who they say, so most people in most of their life just accepted the African runaway, plantations and then scenario, and everybody coming out of what they call West Africa. But so if it's tied to West Africa today, the Negro native to this land with all of our mixtures, and we're going to point to something that's being preserved tied to the slave trade situation. That Gullah is a great example of the whole storyline how we just walked it back, tied to exile and redemption. See what I'm saying? And mixtures of languages, mixtures of people, trade, kingdoms, trading with other kingdoms, prisoners of war, people's creeds. I hope it's a bigger story apart when you read it this way. You know what I mean? But however the case, you can make this a little bit bigger for me, man. It just hurt my eyes. It's looking like, woohoo, boy. Jack Forbes, man, man got a lot of drops, you know what I mean? And he used the terms Negro and Black, so include persons, it says to include persons of Native American ancestry in Anglo-North America. So we know what the ops is. The Anglos, the Alps, and the situation is, setting up the system and controlling the system. They ain't set up, they're controlling really the system at the time, obviously. That's what they did. In 1854, the California State Supreme Court sought to bar all non-Caucasians from equal citizenship and citizen rights. I was like, in civil rights. This is interesting. The court stated the word Black may include all Negroes, but the term Negro does not include all Black persons. We are of the opinion that the words white, Negro, mulatto, and Black person, whenever they occur in our Constitution, must be taken in their generic sense. That the words Black person in the 14th section must be taken in distinguished from the white and necessarily includes all races other than the Caucasian. Swampy. That's why people get confused and how the system Anglo-wise were looking at things, right? Easily. Even the people mulatto got a little mixture in them, tinted skin, they ain't exactly fully like the Negro tied to the Gullah people ancestry, West African, Yahudi mixture, Muslim mixture of people, etc. No, which obviously means they're darker when we say Negro, they're Guinea, right? But when they talk about the other people that might have some Moorish ancestry mixture, but they might be more tawny, you know what I'm talking about, with black hair, little curl and all that. And it's the Anglo like, nah, you nigga, you heard me? Yeah. That's basically what that was saying, by the way. That's my interpretation, okay? If you disagree, I'm sorry. You can read it. I read it to you. But however, you can slide down. There's another little part in here. We're going to keep this moving. Living more. Right there. British slave colonies. As we were just showing you, American Revolution, how the British loyalists and all that. We were just showing you that. British slave colonies in North America along the Atlantic coast, which obviously we just showed you the corridor, Gullah people that's sitting off this coast working. Okay. All right. Many persons of American ancestry were at times classified as black, Negroes, mulattoes, or people of color. And these terms were, of course, used for people of African ancestry. You know what I'm saying? In this situation, we could just say Gullah ancestry because we got to put names on shit. You heard me? Yeah. The manner in which the Americans and part of Americans were sometimes classified as mulattoes and people of color from New England to South Carolina in the Spanish Empire or explored elsewhere. The purpose here is to illustrate how the term Negro has also been applied to people of American descent. Yeah, you heard that, right? Negro de Terra with the Portuguese, you know what I mean? Esta Lusti. Lusitania. Esta Lusti. But when we talk about the West African part of the Esta Lusti, we don't just say Gullah. You know what I mean? We've been saying that to you guys. Maroon, we knew that. You see, I got my maroon shirt on tonight. No, we ain't talking about. Yeah. I'm a Macario descent. We don't want none of this when they should get deeper. Then, boy, let me tell you something. But now we can slide to the next one. We're almost out of here. And I think we about 11:11. We walking through them gates here. The redemption gates. We can call them the Gullah gates, man. Yeah. This also, too, I see a highlight to get straight to it. You know what I mean? Shout out to Miss Angela again on her birth, Earth Strong. You know what I mean? Hope she enjoying her day and tonight. And the whole rest of this Virgo season. And shout out to all the Virgos, you know what I mean? My moms, my wife, and everybody else. My dog Baron P, what up? You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your Virgos, all the Virgos out there. Now it's been going hard. I've been telling you on Twitter, boy, that boy be dropping some heat. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to that Virgo man right there, telling some truth. The 394 section of the Act concerning civil cases provides that no Indian or Negro shall be allowed to testify as a witness in any action or proceeding in which a white person is a party. Shout out to the party, by the way, once again. But still, 1850, you know what I mean? The other one was just showing you like they're in California, how so they're letting you know that people were lumped together, especially in cases, you know, the people at the time that's African obviously are tied to this word Negro. The Guinea part being left out. People don't put no name on it like we know culturally to do. You know what I'm saying? What it's tied to. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, others might not get it. You know what I'm saying? So we don't worry about that. You know what I mean? But we know those other folk that's getting included and get misinterpreted for being labeled black or Negro, and they'll be like, I'm not them folk who are popularly known to be the American Negro, or we like to say, because see, the ops called us the Negro, the colonial folk, Portuguese who did what they were doing, especially the crown, not the people of the common people, but the crown and them, feel me, and them. That's geeky like that. And them, they were the ones that was crusading and with the Inquisition paperwork, coming to your native areas and telling you, oh, Negro de Guinea, or Negro de Terra, or Negro Iberia, bitch. Now, yo, if you don't get on this side of the world, but we ain't playing with you, we roam on our side. They was on their own redemption type shit, but it wasn't Gullah though. So at the end of the day, hey, I'm ready, guys. We can slide, man. Like I said, we almost done. I just wanted to point that out in the thing, you know what I'm saying? And but homeboy right here, it's like I say, a unique situation, and he got this joint because he was, you know, he's got the Jew on there. You know, the research guy be, you know, he dropping some shit, man. He's come Indian Red. Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? He know what it is. He know that mixture of shit, but you know, go ahead, God. There you go.
This dude name is Kashi Bosin. Watch what he said. Now this goes to Daniel 9 and 11. Y'all watch this. Let's see this guy.
Round one, what exciting benefits do you get as a Hertz Gold Plus Rewards member?
You get to skip the line and go right to your car.
And
pick any car you want from Hertz's wide selection of great vehicles.
You going, Will?
Earn points toward future rentals.
Go! Tom Brady still got it!
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to
and especially the African-American experience. It's literally not duplicated anywhere on earth in history. African-Americans are a completely unique phenomenon as a people. Who they are culturally, what their history is, what their experience is, isn't duplicated anywhere on earth. You don't know where you came from. You don't know what country you came from. You don't know what culture you came from. You don't know what language you came from. You don't know what your religion was.
Now I could agree with him on some of the stuff he's saying, but when he said that our history and our experience is totally different from anybody else, he's not lying about that. Daniel 9:11 documents that clearly. It said that the curses that happened to Israel, when you read Daniel 9:11 and 12, it says the curses that happened to Israel happened to them and nobody else on the whole earth. Nobody else can claim and say, yeah, this happened.
Yeah, it's only a specific group of people tied to that word. Gullah and Gullah and Moran and Mar. Yeah, these are all tied to that term, exile. A lot of people don't want to be called exile. They rather say they just lost. You know what I'm saying? We just got lost. No, man. Exile. And then that's if you want to go BC, then again what happened with underneath Rome, again, they fled. They the ones actually they say that fled. The ones that fled when the time frame of Joshua, they say. They fled into, they say, south, obviously, into Africa. You know what I'm talking about? And they are tied to this Harash Gullah situation. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I just want to put that out there like that, though. Feel me? And I agree, though. We are unique as the Lucy. That's what you know what I'm saying? Some people want to use these big general terms the system want to give you because they want to, keep you displaced and you're not able to redeem yourself through your own traditional ways of speaking to your people. And that's why people can be thinking they, we're not exclusive in some kind of way or something, that people that may even look like us but don't have these things in common. You feel me? It's okay, they don't relate. Just don't play and hate on what we doing. That's all. I'm gonna keep it geeky with you about that, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to be on Gullah time right now. See, people like to say reparations. No, we're gonna say redemption, bitch, because it's something tied to that that's tied to a cursed people that's really ain't. It's really just the system playing games from the Roman time, the Babylonian time, to United States time. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? They can go ahead and throw money in front of our face to other different groups of people and act like you ain't nobody on your own land. I mean, Martin Luther King, Negro rule, how many things do, the Negro wars, things that we have to understand that we are a specific group of people tied to this, you hear me? So however the case might be, I already got it. Go check that joint out when y'all get a chance. We out of there. I think this is the last couple of joints, right, God? We out of there. And so Elijah in the 1950s, you know what I'm saying? He's obviously around. Just, some wise words. Everybody can give you some. You can learn from anybody. Eager to learn. Shout out to Dre Cobbs. You heard me? Go ahead, God.
For followers to vote.
I can't urge my followers to vote for a change of the white man's way of life and the way of his government. That's his. And there is no need for me to tell you to vote for Mr. Jones or Mr. Johnson. I can't tell you that either one will give to you what you want. You want to be equal with Mr. Johnson, Mr. Jones. And that can't be done. And why should I tell you to vote that he will give you this? Because he can't do it. There is no white man in America today can go to Washington and give the so-called American Negro equal rights. He can't do it.
Or intern,
he can promise it to him, but he have his own people to contend with. Equal rights will mean giving some earth too. You can't be equal by living on the white man's soil. This is his country. Why should you be deceived by a president or a candidate for president saying he will give you equal rights when you can't get no equal rights? No fully equal rights is here for you unless they are going to do this. Give to you some portion of the country and give to you the rights to set up your own government for yourself and your own people, since that by nature you are different.
This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. And so we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Every day, and I know like you love me, baby,